hope lies in dreams, in imagination, and in the courage of those who dare to make dreams into reality. That quote by Jonas Salk takes us straight into today's episode. Hi, I'm Elisa Hayes, and this is Letters to My Daughter, a weekly podcast devoted to women mentoring women. I'm honored and delighted to dedicate these letters to daughters everywhere. So let's get right to it. For 14 years, my company, Let's Pretend Entertainment, communicated to thousands and thousands of people one message, and that is the power of imagination is the power to change the world. How big is your imagination? So here's a thought. Maybe before you can go out and change the world, you need to change a few things in yourself. Can you imagine those changes? Can you imagine what your highest aspiration is? What is the biggest that you can dream? Can you clearly picture it? Without clarity of vision, here's the thing. We cannot move forward in meaningful, giant leaps. But with clarity of vision, we can move mountains. So, some would call that faith. And it's true. You have to have faith in yourself, faith in others, and faith in something much bigger than you. Call it God, or the universe, or maybe just the company that you work in. Something beyond you. And when you have faith in all of these things, miracles happen. I know this to be true. The universe conspires on your behalf to create magnificent change, extraordinary impact. For as long as I can remember, my title in my company was Chief Daydreamer. As a leader of my team, it's my job to lead the charge in dreaming big and believing that we absolutely can make it happen. Well, too often people are afraid to dream big. They don't have any faith in themselves or in the people around them or God. They have no faith that all of these things will step in to help them make it happen. So the very first step up is that you have to believe in yourself and your ability to get shit done. Yep, I said it. Because when you don't believe in yourself first, you'll be too tempted to imagine far too small. You can't see beyond where you currently are, and that will hold you where you are. You'll be afraid. When you don't have confidence in your ability to do the hard thing, Rule 4 of my 5 rules, and if you're not familiar with those living 5 rules, it's in the freebies section of my website. I'll give that address at the end of the episode. Sometimes the hard thing is believing in yourself. Do you believe that you really are a badass? Yep, you are. You are a badass. Just own it. Believe it. And if you have difficulty with that, journal or make lists or simply proclaim boldly all of the ways in which you are a badass. Revisit this list every day until you can recite it by heart, until you believe that deep down in your soul that you know you can get it done. Next, go out and do something really hard. Something that stretches you, that pushes you beyond your boundaries. If you have to, put an accountability system in place, if that will help you get there, to do something really hard. When I was 22 years old, I worked on a fishing boat in the middle of the Bering Sea for a year and a half. That was hard. We worked 12 to 15 hours a day, round the clock, 7 days a week, in freezing cold temperatures, loading dead fish. And I smelled bad. Trust me, that was hard. But it taught me something very important. It taught me to really believe deep down in my soul that I could get things done. Later in my life, in my 30s, and for my 40th birthday, I climbed mountains, even though I had never been even a hiker. I just decided I needed to climb some mountains. And so I did. But it was hard. I trained and worked. I had accountability. I climbed with my brother. But we did it. We summited mountains. Now, it wasn't Everest or Denali or none of the big 7 summits. It was Mount Hood in Oregon, Mount Rainier in Washington, 14,411 feet was the highest that I've been. But it was hard. It was really hard. And do you know where that became important? Because later, when I was in a hospital, and doctors were telling me to try and get out of bed, put one foot on the ground. After 3 months, after having my pelvis folded in half and crushed. And it was hard. By far and away the hardest thing I have ever done. But I knew at that point, because I had pushed myself intentionally, because I had tested my mettle and taught myself that I'm a badass. I knew I could do the hard thing. In fact, I am an actual badass, since half my ass was amputated. So that's pretty bad. But I also knew that I believed in my ability to push through anyway. I could imagine and dream of a life that wasn't crippled, even if my body was. Now that's dreaming big. And there is nothing special about me. Not at all. If I can do that, you can. Absolutely. You just have to start with dreaming, imagining. Who can you be? What can you accomplish? What legacy can you leave in this world that makes it a better place for yourself and for others? Push your limits. Push your capabilities. Discover who you are at the core that is so tough that you can do anything. I'll leave you with the very famous quote by John F. Kennedy, delivered at Rice University on September 12, 1962. He said, "We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills, because that challenge is one that we are willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one in which we intend to win, and the others too." I'm Elisa Hayes, and this has been Letters to My Daughter. Thank you for inviting me into your ears, your heart, and your mind. If you'd like to learn more, please visit my website, elisahayes.com. You can download freebies at the freebies section. Please stay in touch and remember to share the love.